Hi, I'm Danny Ferry. Welcome to the Change Manager for Group Policy and Intune version 1.9 product walkthrough by SDM Software. We'll cover the current features and latest updates that make this tool essential for securing and managing group policy and Intune profiles. Let's begin. When you first log into the web UI, you're presented with a dashboard. And here you can quickly identify the statuses of your GPO management environment. You can see how many total delegated GPOs there are, containers, as well as Intune profiles. Change Manager helps strengthen security and governance by letting administrators assign specific roles such as product administrator, break glass, GPO creator, auditor, as well as approver and editor. In version 1.9, we've added the ability to optionally enable the deployer role for third level of review to provide even greater oversight and control. Some roles are assigned globally. Others, such as approvers and editors, are assigned at an object level for GPOs, Intune profiles, AD containers, as well as administrative containers. The new restricted settings feature gives you precise control over which policy areas within a GPO can be edited by a GPO editor. For example, you can prevent an editor from changing the security settings in a GPO while still allowing them to configure other policy areas, ensuring greater control and protection over sensitive configurations. CMGPI also keeps track of all changes done within the product, as seen in the menu option entitled Audit Log. You get to see the types of activity that's being performed, granting a role, revoking a role, stopping editing, checkout, check-in, deploying, and so much more. The Settings menu option allows you to configure default approvers, require objects at object check-in, and the new feature of GPO naming standard enforcements using regular expressions. Here, you would also set the SMTP server settings. You can optionally enable change alerting to a Microsoft Teams channel. Here, you can pick the different types of alerts you'd like to send to the channel. Pick from check-in, check-out, create GPOs, take control, undo checkout, and so much more. From the settings menu, you can also define SSO integration for integrating CMGPI with Entra ID, as well as integrating and taking control of Intune profiles. You can view and restore deleted GPOs and so much more. Now let's log in as an editor. As an editor, you have a set of objects associated with you. You can check out, edit, perform change control operations on these objects without affecting the production version. Let's check out this 918 GPO migration. As you can see, you can edit WMI filters, edit permissions, check on version differences. With version 1.9, you also have the ability to export a GPO in a checked out state so that you can use this for testing in a lab or in a non-production environment. Let's go ahead and edit this GPO. To test out the restricted settings option that we have enabled, let's go ahead and make a change to a restricted settings, which was in the security settings, and it was password policy. So here I'm going to just define a password age, and it will expire in 42 days. And I'm going to check this back in. I will add a ticket number, comments. You'll notice when checking in, we got an error stating this GPO contains settings that you are restricted from changing. This is how the restricted settings policy works. So as an editor, E. Watson does not have the right to modify password policies. So we're going to go ahead and close this. We'll go back and edit that GPO. We'll remove that password policy. And leave it as not defined. And we're going to go ahead and make a change on some sort of change here, a group policy preference. So I will go ahead and maybe delete the K drive. Now that we have modified our GPO to only include things that eWatson has the ability to do or the right to do, we'll check it back in, and the check-in was complete. All changes are made in a non-production state, ensuring safety until they are approved and deployed. With Entra ID single sign-on, you can delegate roles to Entra ID users and groups. Assign all available roles to an Entra ID user account as you would an on-prem Active Directory account. We're going to sign in with eWatson's Entra ID account. As eWatson's Entra ID account, she has access to all the GPOs and Intune profiles that have been delegated to her. Change Manager allows you to manage group policy containers. You can link additional GPOs, enable or delete links, and control block inheritance. Let's check out this container called Dublin Regional Sales, and we'll edit this container and we will add a GPO to this container, Citrix Testing. You can see here that you also have the ability to block inheritance. Once completed, simply select OK, check back in, add the ticket number as you would with a change to a GPO or Intune profile, and submit it for the approver to review it and approve the change. You also have the ability to change the order in which the GPOs are linked. Let's check this out, Dublin servers. We will add a few GPOs to this OU. And as you can see, by clicking and dragging, you can move the order of the GPO in which they are applied. The same change control process applies to Intune profiles. Edit settings, assignments, and scope tags. For scope tags and assignments, these can actually be edited directly from the web console. Simply check out the Intune profile, go to the assignments, select the group that you'd like to add, click OK. You can also edit the scope tags the same way. To edit an Intune profile, select Edit Settings. This will prompt a Microsoft Azure sign-in. Select the editor that will be editing the Intune profile. As you noticed, a temporary profile is created so that the production profile is not touched until it's been reviewed and deployed. We will make a simple change here. Check in, add the ticket number, and if approved, deployed. CMGPI also comes with a global settings search feature. Quickly find a path or value across all your GPOs. In this case, I will be using password to find where the term password exists in either a path or a value across all my GPOs. Once selected, you have the option to see further details by simply selecting More Details. This takes you to the GPO where you can check out the GPO and edit the GPO as needed. The settings search also works for Intune profiles. I'm going to look for the same term across Intune profiles, and we notice that we found that term in one profile, but in two different places. Once you've identified the GPOs or Intune profiles that contain the term that you're looking for, in this case password, you can easily export this to a list to be reviewed offline. When an approver logs in, they are presented with a dashboard as well. They can quickly go to My Objects. The My Objects page will display the items that are ready to be approved. You can use any of the columns at the top and filter by status. Once you've selected the GPO that you're ready to review, you can also look at the version differences or approve or reject the change. In this case, I will approve the change. Once approved, the approver has the ability to deploy the change. Now they can deploy immediately, or they can also schedule the deployment after hours or within an approved change window. As noted earlier, with version 1.9, the deployer role can optionally be enabled to be assigned to a third party or a third reviewer. In this case, it is by the default setting where the approver is the deployer. Receive email notifications for approvals showing what's changed, and either approve or reject changes directly from your inbox. Email notifications also sends reminders for past due approvals or objects that rest in a checked out state for longer than 7 days. Teams channel alerts enable channel members to receive specific notifications from the product. As an administrator, you can create administrative containers, logical groupings designed to efficiently organize and manage your GPOs, Intune profiles, and AD containers. This structure makes it easier to delegate specific approver and editor roles at a scale, especially in large environments with hundreds or thousands of GPOs. Administrative containers streamline role assignment and governance, helping maintain clarity and control across complex policy environments. Let's now see how we can create an administrative container. So we go to under the settings in the menu tab, administrative containers, create container. So once we've created the container, you simply add the object that you'd like to include in the container. This policy already has an editor or approval delegation, so these will be ignored when they are taken into the administrative container, as we will be setting the delegation on a global level for the administrative container. So the administrative container has been created. The GPOs, OU, and Intune profile is now a part of this administrative container. We can now delegate that administrative container. This is an example of how administrative containers streamline role assignments and governance. So you could see, I have 60 plus GPOs, Intune profiles, and OUs. So how could we streamline the delegation and the management of the OUs, GPOs, and Intune profiles? Well, we created an administrative container. So just for the sake of efficiency, I'm going to only highlight administrative containers. You can see here my cyber engineer administrative container has been created, and the OUs and GPOs and Intune profiles that I have assigned to this administrative containers now belong here, and we can now assign an approver for all these objects. There, so we have assigned an approver, John Doe, and an editor, E. Watson, to control this administrative container of cyber engineers. Earlier, we discussed one of the functionalities of an editor is the ability to delete a GPO. So here, E. Watson will be deleting this GPO, no longer needed. We'll now sign in as an approver, because even though the GPO has been deleted, it still needs to go through an approval process. And you can see here that there's a couple that are deleted. This is the one that E. Watson recently deleted. He will approve the change. Once approved, he will also deploy the change. We're going to select deploy immediately. And now this GPO is deleted. Now, what if the deletion was done by accident. The administrator role enables you to easily recover deleted GPOs and links from the deleted objects container. So why don't we sign in as an administrator? We will go to the deleted GPOs container and we can see that this was the GPO that was deleted. And as mentioned, as an administrator, they have the ability to restore this deleted GPO. Once a GPO is restored, you can sign in as either an editor or an approver, and we can see here that the GPO was successfully deployed. Change Manager for Group Policy and Intune version 1.9 also provides additional features: the ability to look up users and groups within AD or Entra ID when assigning a delegation, support Intune configuration profiles that contain secret fields. We added the option to automatically send CMGPI support logs to an internal SMB network share rather than locally or to an Azure storage blob. We've added support for the installation on Windows Server 2025 and also added support for silent installation of the CMGPI server. Version 1.8 also brought us Azure SQL support, externalized Azure URIs for various Azure cloud, including government cloud, continuous upload of CMGPI logs to an Azure blob storage, as well as high availability deployment of the CMGPI server. We've covered everything from change management configuration, workflows to deployment, ensuring a smooth transition to modernized policies for your organization. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more guides like this. Got questions? Drop us a comment or visit our website for a free trial on any of our products. Bye for now.